The courtroom was tense. Every juror had voted. The verdict was about to be announced, and the judge was ready to read it aloud. Then a clerk froze. A document in her hand didn't make sense. One juror, juror number 7, had never signed in. No attendance record, no fingerprints, not a single photo from any of the trial days. Yet somehow their vote had been counted. Panic rippled through the courtroom. Lawyers whispered frantically. The judge slammed the gavel. How could a jury member who wasn't even there influence the verdict? This is the story of the jury member who wasn't there, a mystery that would shake the entire legal.
The trial was high profile, gripping national attention. The defendant, Mark Ellis, was accused of embezzling millions from a major corporation, a crime so calculated it had fooled auditors, investigators, and even his closest colleagues. The stakes were enormous. A guilty verdict would send him to prison for decades. An acquittal would spark outrage across the country. Every juror's vote was crucial. Every discussion in the jury room could tilt the outcome. But when the trial clerk double-checked the attendance records for the past 3 weeks, she found something that made her stomach drop. Juror number 7 had no record of being present at any session. No check-ins, no sign-ins, not a single courtroom photo. Yet somehow, the court's records showed their vote, counted in favor of the verdict. The mystery wasn't just puzzling, it threatened the integrity of the entire trial. How could a juror who was never there influence the outcome of a case that captivated the nation?
The court immediately launched an internal investigation. Judge Reynolds demanded answers. How could a juror who had never attended a single session have their vote counted? Detective Clara Hayes was brought in to uncover the truth. She started by reviewing attendance logs, security camera footage, and electronic check-ins. Every record confirmed the same impossible fact. Juror number 7 had never been present, not once. Yet, the official jury tally included their vote. Hayes interviewed the other jurors. Some remembered discussions where number 7 supposedly weighed in. Others swore they'd never seen them. Conflicting stories piled up like bricks in a wall. The investigation extended to digital records, emails, software logs, and even remote communication devices. Everything pointed to one chilling possibility. Someone had manipulated the system. Detective Hayes realized quickly, this wasn't just an administrative error. The missing juror wasn't absent by accident. Their presence or absence had been engineered, and someone had ensured their vote counted without ever stepping foot in the courtroom.
As Detective Hayes dug deeper, the case became stranger by the hour. Courtroom footage showed empty seats where juror number 7 should have been, yet digital records indicated their presence in deliberations. Some jurors insisted they had heard the missing juror's voice during discussions. Others swore it was impossible. No one had seen or spoken to them. Then came the emails. Anonymous messages sent to the court clerk hinted at tampering. Quote, "Some votes don't need to be seen to be counted," unquote. Hayes checked the trial software. Security logs were wiped clean, timestamps altered. Someone had expertly manipulated the system. Even stranger, the missing juror's personal records were inaccessible. No phone activity, no social media posts, no trace of any movement. Every clue pointed to one chilling truth. The juror who wasn't there was never meant to be found. And as the walls of the courtroom seemed to close in, Hayes realized this was no ordinary case of jury error. It was a deliberate act of deception that threatened the very foundation of justice.
Detective Hayes focused on the court's electronic jury system. That's when she noticed it. A series of logins from a single IP address during deliberation sessions. Every vote attributed to juror number 7 came from this IP.
not from a courtroom computer, but from an unknown location outside the building. Hayes traced the address to a nondescript office several blocks away. Inside, she found a small team of individuals monitoring the trial remotely. They had access to the jury system, the deliberation transcripts, and even communication tools to influence decisions without anyone noticing. The missing juror had never existed in person. Their vote had been manipulated remotely, orchestrated by someone desperate to control the trial's outcome. For the first time, Hayes had a tangible lead. The impossible was starting to make sense, and she realized the courtroom's integrity had been compromised at the highest level.
Detective Hayes traced the remote IP activity to Alex Mercer, a high-ranking attorney working for the defense team. Mercer had exploited the court's electronic jury system, creating a fake juror profile with credentials and login access. Through this phantom juror, he was able to monitor deliberations, suggest votes, and subtly influence real jurors, all without leaving a trace in the physical courtroom. Emails and encrypted messages revealed his plan had been in motion months before the trial began. He studied juror behaviors, court software vulnerabilities, and even predicted how the deliberation discussions would unfold. In essence, the missing juror never existed. They were a digital ghost, a puppet through which Mercer tried to tilt the trial in his client's favor. Hayes realized just how close the system had come to being completely corrupted. The verdict, the law, and justice itself had hung by a thread. All because someone had found a way to make a juror vote without being there.
Detective Hayes confronted Alex Mercer with the evidence. There was no denying it. The IP logs, encrypted emails, and manipulated jury system all pointed directly to him. Mercer's plan had been audacious. Create a juror who didn't exist, influence votes from afar, and sway the trial in his client's favor without ever stepping into the courtroom. But Hayes's meticulous investigation unraveled every step. The court immediately invalidated the affected juror votes and reviewed the entire trial for fairness. Mercer was arrested, facing charges not only for obstruction of justice, but for attempting to manipulate the judicial system itself. The trial continued, this time under heightened scrutiny, and the real jurors voted without interference. The missing juror, though never physically present, had exposed a vulnerability no one had imagined, and it had taken sharp detective work to restore the system's integrity.
The case of the jury member who wasn't there reminded everyone that even the strongest systems can have hidden vulnerabilities. Justice isn't just about rules and procedures. It's about vigilance, accountability, and the people who refuse to let deception go unnoticed. Detective Hayes's determination ensured that the truth came to light, proving that no matter how clever the manipulation, careful observation and persistence can restore order. The lesson is clear. Systems may be tested, but integrity and diligence are the ultimate safeguards of justice. This was The Jury Member Who Wasn't There.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next one. Bye for now.